It goes out like that. When somebody calls and then, so I don't really know. Hopefully everybody comes back. I'm only going to be in here for 10 more minutes. Thank you for the like. Um, but yeah, art teachers, yeah, art is subjective. It's one of those, you know, subjects that's subjective, and if the teacher feels like he's progressing or needs, help in a certain area, I can understand that and I can appreciate that. And I am one of those type of people where when I start something, I give it my all until the very end. Like even when I retired from the military, I was working up until my last day, running around like a chicken with my head cut off, making sure. Thanks for coming back, Riaz. Thanks for coming back, Chelsea Land. What do you guys do when you're live and then somebody calls you and then it goes mute? I don't know what to do at that point. How do you make it unmute? Like I don't know. I have no idea. That is so annoying, though. I got to figure that out. Maybe I'll Google it and see what to do because that's happened a couple of times. But I forgot to put my phone on D&D, right? But I do want him to finish strong, and I want him to get all passing and everything. But like I said before, the main core classes, he got all A's on a roll per usual. So I'm not gonna trip off of one teacher that's giving him a P. I'm just not gonna trip. Like me and my kid, we were having another discussion um yesterday actually because he had a doctor's appointment, so we had to spend some extra time together and was talking and stuff. And he was saying, did you know that Trump changed the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of uh America? And I said, mm-hmm. He goes, why did he do that? Or I was like, I don't, yeah, he did, whatever. And so I said, why do you think he do that? And he said, well, I read, because they were reading Kearney and Vince, I guess, in school. And he said, I couldn't remember the reason why Trump said that he did it. But in thinking about his schoolwork and his progress report, and then this subject, I looked at my son and I said, look, son, I said, at this point in time, does that affect you personally right now? What does that do to you? He changed it from Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. How does that affect your day to day life right now? He said, it doesn't. I said, exactly. Thanks, Machiavelli. Thanks, Chels. So it just led me into this consciousness of just not really giving a F about a lot of stuff. What up, Lillian? A lot of the small stuff, you just got to let it go. What up, Tarkan? Getting upset and changing your mood and giving control to the uncontrollable is the quickest way to insanity. Hey, James. You got caught up in the doom scrolling, I see. Yep. Thanks, Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea says that's great thoughts. Yeah. Because, and this is the reason why I have the serenity prayer tattooed on me. This is huge at this point in my life when, now that I'm trying to follow God more. And also after I had my child, I was like, this tattoo is too big. Like, this is ridiculous. But, anyways, it's a reminder for me, you know, you can only change the things that you can change. Everything else, you got to let it go because I have no control over it. Right? The teacher gave him that grade. I have no control over that. I can ask her what's up with that. But at the end of the day, if my kid is passing it on the honor roll, is it that big of a deal? So I have learned to not sweat the small stuff. And there was another saying that this nurse that used to check on me used to say. I can't think of it, but it's a popular saying. Machiavelli says, "Yeah, Mo, I stopped paying so much attention to politics and letting it control my life. Yeah, it's incredibly unhealthy, very, you know." And some people thrive off of that though, like that's their lane, right? And those people, they love that stuff. that are into politics and stuff like that. But if you're not a big political person and then you watch a lot of stuff that is doom and gloom, it can absolutely control your emotions, and you don't want to give power over to that. You too, Tarkan. You can't turn off the auto clicker. Oh man, yeah, I guess you stuck with me. Machiavelli says only thing you can control is yourself, your focus, mind, and your power. Yes, absolutely. I like that. What you allow your subconscious to consume eventually consumes you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why sleep is so important too, because you have to be able to process everything that you encountered during the day. If you're not getting good sleep, you don't get that REM sleep, you're not able to process things. And then you wake up, in a bad mood. You haven't been able to process all the things that happened the day before so that it makes sense. And then you can move forward in a positive way. My goal is to get to sleep at a decent amount of time. Unfortunately, a lot of people that I watch on YouTube, they don't go live until like 10, sometimes 12:45, and I'm like, so I have to catch the replay, but oh my gosh. And I got to stop watching so much YouTube. Anyways, I was watching somebody reviewing a YouTuber that is sleeping in her car and she just bought a dog. Cree will be up till 8. Okay. I have watched Cree to the very end when she put on that music, that jazz music. I've watched her channel twice till the end. And I said, I can't do this again. But she be so entertaining, when she has the panel up. But I can't do that again because that'd be like 3 in the morning. These people know how to pod, okay? They know how to pod, they know how to keep your attention, they know how to keep you there. But I can't do it just for my own health. But shout out to them. Shout out to them. Yeah, exactly. That's right, Chelsea Lynn. Did you watch that video that I sent you? It is so good. Oh, I wish you would cover it. I think you said you would cover it tomorrow or something like that. But that was amazing and very interesting stuff about what happens after the draft and how these people be let down and how that can really affect. I think athletes go through so much mental stress trying to be the best, trying to make it, and then when they don't, like, it's like their whole world crumbles because their identity is in that, just like being in the military. My identity was stuck in being a member of the military. And when I got out, it was like, doo, 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 now who am I? You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to adopt this mindset of this is what I do. This is not who I am because everything is short lived. Everything. You can do something for 20, 30 years, then it's over. That's not who you are. It's what you did, you know? Oh, you're going to cover it today? Awesome. Wasn't that crazy? Exactly, Mo. That's why they are utilizing sports psychology now because of the pressures. Absolutely. There was a guy on there too that was talking about he's got a program with to deal with athletes who go through that. And I think that is just such an amazing thing. You know, on the flip side, the athletes who retire later in life, their whole life for 30, 40 years is athletics. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for you to cover that too, Chelsea Lynn. Soon as I seen it, I said this will be awesome for Chelsea to cover because you're so motivating, you know, and you've been watching sports since you were a child. So you already know the effects and, things that they go through. And, you follow a lot of these athletes after their careers. So I think that is so cool. Okay, James. But I just wanted to leave that message to you guys. I don't give up about none of that. Part two. Right? Don't sweat the small stuff. Let it go. Everything ain't worth the fight. Everything ain't worth getting upset about, especially if it's out of your control. Of course, Chelsea Lynn, you're always on my mind because you're always on the YouTube. But I will check you guys later. I love you. Peace.